Good morning, everyone. The market woke up not too happy with these numbers. Producer prices increased 0.9%. Expectations for 0.2. What's going on here? Well, not good. Anyway, bar by bar, still in an uptrend. Higher highs, marginal higher high. We don't know how today's going to end, but momentum slowed down. Say, really, Greg? Well, look at that. How's that so? Well, that's not how we measure momentum on an intermediate term basis. We measure it by looking at advances, red bar or retracement, advances, the next attempt, advances. And so the distance between the highs, assuming that this remains a high, this bar, assuming it remains a high, right? This could turn into a topping tail bar, or it could turn into a very nasty, well, a relatively nasty red bar going down to the bottom of this wide range green bar. In candlestick terms, that's called something bearish. There's a name for it. Who cares? It went up and it went back down again. So depending on where it closes, and can you imagine if it closes at the 20? My goodness. So the number out, we look at multiple time frames, and the hourly chart had a breakout, which in 2020 hindsight, right? We don't have insights into the future here. We just look at what is. But we have I wanted to stop that, a downside shakeout. Stop moving till I tell you to, right? Little breakout, sideways, breakout, all the way back down, sideways. And now this confirmation of the shakeout, right? Sometimes they go sideways and they pop back up again. This one didn't after the news. So now, wide range bar igniting from an upside shakeout opens the door to the void below, and you've got some kind of minor support right there. And we're looking at the futures, not the NQs here, but you've got some minor support and some major support way down here where these pivots are. We don't know where it's going to go, but this major support level, if you are watching the cursor on the daily time frame, it's at the bottom of that wide range green bar. And so that should be, just based on that major support, if prices are going to continue to go lower, which the 5-minute chart suggests they're going to, that should be the downside extreme for today. Right? And just basic analysis. Now, as I'm looking at this and thinking about what to say next, I look at the next time frame higher, and like the weekly, no significant damage is being done. Today's Thursday. We got all day to trade. We got tomorrow to see if it follows through. And boy, oh boy, if it gets deep into this green bar, things become more bearish. Now, today's theme was the advance continued. Earlier in the week, we were looking for the potential for a blow-off. I wouldn't call this chart on the NQs a blow-off, but it's a substantial move, for bar by bar. So would it continue today? We all knew the news was coming out. Now, the internals, this is what we were also looking for when we were thinking, may possibly blow off, that there would be some catch up from the underperformers, which did occur in a substantial way, which still leaves underpinnings for this bullish advance. We'll see, how this initial igniting to the downside, how it ends. But breadth came all the way up, almost touching an extreme. It was bad for a long time. That was all, the mags and tech and just, the big caps were moving up, and everything else was doing nothing or going lower. And sentiment came up. So we don't have an agreement here between these internals yet. So, maybe some miracle happens today. We'll see. But anyway, this is more intermediate term as far as today goes. This igniting to the downside looks bearish. And you see the consolidation, and now it's failed. And now those that were anticipating, hey, you know what? Maybe this number comes out and everybody's looking for the Fed to cut, and the number is in alignment with that, and it just rips higher. Right? That's speculation. Well, nothing wrong with it, but going to do that, you better have your stops in place to get triggered, which obviously stops got triggered. All right. S&Ps, same story, right? Nasty move down. This is on some support. Now, we always want to compare. As we compare, the NQs violated all that support. Relative weakness before it had relative strength. S&Ps on those pivots. That doesn't mean it isn't going to break, because that's an igniting bar. So far, it's just hanging around here. Traders trying to catch their breath, right? Maybe it advances back up where they can kill it, or it'll sell, get another sell. So far, it's hanging down at the bottom. The Russell, right, that was the blow-off style type of a move. So one of the comments yesterday was, what are one of the attributes of a blow-off kind of a move? Well, this is it. What I said was, rather than getting a 1, 2, 3, where whatever you're looking at doesn't matter, consolidates the gain of the wide range bar, and then you get some kind of continuation pattern. No, it continues to go up. So I just call that a mini blow off. Right? A real blow off would have been another day up. But hey, the day's young. Miracles could happen. It's on support. YM. This was the weaker. And today it's showing a little bit of relative strength, maybe. Anyway, it's on the support, sideways there. We'll see how far this goes. We thought with the blow-off scenario that, this could advance to new all-time highs. Oh, initially, just based on what's happening this morning, would kind of throw a wrench in that thought, but we'll see. 2 wide range bars up is bullish. It's at resistance. Forgetting the news, it's pretty normal to get a red bar today. We'll see how far it goes. What are interest rates doing? Was lower and back up. This will be interesting to see what happens in the coming days. So with this number being a surprise, inflation thoughts, this is going to start going up in the coming days. If it hangs down here, who knows? It's something that we have to look for in the coming days, what this does. Now, what did the 13-week do? 13. Still down. So, you can look at maybe later today, that Fed watch tool to see, the expectations were like 100% for a cut. Let's see how that shifts around. Now, this has come up. So to put a little bit of a hesitancy. Now, the CNBC guy says now 92%. We'll see. We'll see. President Trump is pushing for that, so maybe Powell needs to get his retirement in place. He doesn't want to fight with that, but who knows? Anyway, gold isn't doing anything, so that would be spiking way up, and that's not. Silver isn't doing much of anything. Oil broke down through support. Next support level is down here. Just kind of meandering around, not really doing much of anything there. And what's the dollar doing? Moving up. So a little bit of hesitancy on the rate cut thing. I pointed out that while there was almost 100% probability of a rate cut, the dollar was holding up. And this is aligned with the dollar starting to bottom out. It is bottoming, but it hasn't been able to move up yet. So negative news, dollar reacts the way it should. It's net and break down with 100% probability of a rate cut. So it's more alignment with the price action doing what it should do. Let's see. All right. As far as gaps on the ETF, pretty decent gap down there. Right. On to that's our major support. It's coming down to a minor support level in here. So you can see that's where, for the moment, it's holding. And maybe it pops up a little, and I suspect just based on that wide range bar down, there are sellers just lurking up above, wanting to tap that thing on its head. All right. Where's YM? Gapping below yesterday's bar. That's bearish. That looks like should be a gap fill play for sure. That it goes down into the gap fill. You can see how it's lined up with this overnight bottoming tail bar. You know, a little congestion. It's overnight data, so I don't put that much weight on it. That little gray area is overnight. But that should fill the gap, and there's support there. And spiders. Gapping below yesterday's doji bar. Remember? That's called a doji bar. And now, of course, it gapped up, and now it's gapping down. I'm going way back in time, and don't hold me to it. An abandoned baby? Who cares? It's bearish, right? Little mini island, bearish island reversal. Call it what you want. It's going down for the moment, and that is bearish, that it gapped up after a multiple bar advance. The momentum stalled, and now it's gapping down. The weekly chart is bullish. The daily chart is bullish. They're both in uptrends. So we'll have to see how this unfolds as to how much it moves lower or not. SPX, there's today's numbers. That's where I was before I came on here. It's gapping down here below that bar. You know, crazier things have happened. Get back up to yesterday's high. Weekly and daily bullish. Initially, I would think no, it shouldn't happen, but the buyers are going to show up here. We'll all be watching to see to what degree they are able to hold this in place. Based on that wide range bar we looked at, I would think it's not going to be too easy to hold this in place. And any other news today of significance? No. Some interest rate data coming out in the latter part of the morning and 12 o'clock, the rate sets, and we'll see what, there's a guy, there's Barkin talking at 2 o'clock. Keep that in mind. Fed guy Barkin talking at 2 o'clock. So it's closer to this than way down here. I was surprised this is still way down here. So look, I know it's down, whatever it is, but coming in, it's already, whatever, gap sideways here, 10 o'clock. I think this would be where to go to as far as the area below 6,400. So look at whole numbers on SPX. 6,400 is your line of defense. And yeah, 60, it's already below, or in the area of 6,450. So yeah, down anything, I shouldn't say anything, but something below 6,400, which would below this bar's low, should be safe. All yours, Dan.
Good morning. Take a look at alarms going on. Big earnings scans. CPS. I could put an alarm up here at 8860. Sezzle alarm. Nothing. My up alarm went off at 94. I'm watching this room. Just a climb up. AMTM. We entered this yesterday. I guess had a small early alarm go off, but looks like you can add 30-minute high. Set the alarm Nice breakout, inverse head and shoulder there with a smaller right shoulder, but still a breakout. Lily, I've been watching for a Climo, had an up alarm go off and it's pulling back. SMTC, watching this for 1, 2, 3, but my low alarm off. WGS, low alarm, we're in trail mode on this. Actually, let's just move stop break even low. I'm sorry, 5-minute low. Just to protect our gains here. 1 second. We have a beautiful open gain. Duolingo. That was an igniting gap. Igniting gap there on earnings. And so that's shocking that it retraced that much. But now it's not a climb because it's close to a 20, but it's down a lot with a void. So I have an alarm. I'm going to set an alarm at 3:30. Yeah, Greg, 1 second. I'm doing alarms here, but yeah, I have it open. No, I did not see Raul. I guess I opened it after. What did Raul say? I have sentiment gauges. Raul asking about UAMY long above yesterday. No, I don't like that. I don't like the range expansion. I don't like the prior high. I don't like the market gapping down. I posted a few longs though, however, for the economic number that I think are superior setups to that. Let me show you. Lochi's better. It's, you know, it had a big run as far from the 50, so I don't think it will trigger with the market being down. But let's compare that to the 3 that I posted in terms of a new long. And I'm going to leave them because I don't think they will trigger on the down market. So WST, beautiful retest of, you know, this deep buy setup. Close to support, close to the 20, buy setup weekly. ENR, buy setup after igniting gap. And I don't think it's going to trigger. If it does for some reason, I'll say wait 5-minute time on the JBGS. So see, Raul, how these are all substantially better than that one you just sent. Then AUMY and then FNF. Would you manage it now? I'm not sure what you're asking. You say I'm in FNF. Oh, since the correction bar, since this. How would you manage it? Simple. Trail prior day's low, but if the market's in a bad mood today, 30-minute low. So that's a simple answer. A couple more alarms here. I'm gonna look at earnings. FSK, I got an alarm at 17.95. That's a climb on major support. If you look to the left, you'll see it. And CNC, this is a climb on. My up alarm went off. It's coming in a little bit. Let me reset the alarm. We were in profit taking mode and definitely the weekly options trader yesterday. So that was a great move. And there's still a lot of climbos, but you know, when markets at all-time highs and there's climbos out there, what does that just conceptually tell you? relative weakness. And there's been a lot of weak things, the weak sectors. Look at Mo, same sector as CNC. Look at that dog. The TTD got whacked on earnings. I've been watching this for a turn. It's down again. There's no turn that I'm comfortable with. All right, let's go to earnings. Look at Deere here getting whacked. 477. You know, kind of looks like it wants to go lower, in which case we might get a, you know, if it sells off for 30 to 60 minutes, then I'll consider it, and with a reversal, of course, then I'll consider it for 1 DTE put spread. Hey, I just noticed Sam, your OD, well, my minder says ODP is up 50 cents, but I don't see any prints. But that was on Sam's list yesterday. I like the 180 closing breakout, bottoming pattern weekly. That looked good. All right, now let's look at earnings. I went through and deleted a bunch already. Cisco, bullish weekly. You know, it's tired. And possibly a Condor for tomorrow because it's has support below, resistance above. Over getting whacked. 90 bucks. That's a monster gap. Gap now $24. But the chart, the daily, weekly, totally suggested a short-term top if it opened flat. I mean, look at this volume on this nasty engulfing bar. You got a Climo on the weekly. But now I'm looking at it for a 1 DTE put spread because the gap's excessive. Now this is bullish but sloppy. Man, that's a big gap. I'm gonna put that in a window. Wow, sir, that's big. So again, nasty gap, but you know, possible day trade long and 30-minute high put spread. IBT and put that in the window. 30-minute low call spread. You know, when I say that, you got to go through the checklist. If there's 1 DTE, if they're liquid, etc. But that's where I need help from traders in the green room. It's bullish. Daily, weekly, monthly. I'll leave it on the list, see how it closes, relative strength, maybe for next week. Fossil, man, I remember this being at $35 trading this thing. Wow, now it's under $2. It's a gap breakout, but percentage-wise, it's a big gap. S&P 550. It's a bullish gap, but I don't like the way it trades with overlapping bars. Here we looked at NT's 122. That's an igniting gap breakdown, and it has a void. So that's worth watching for a call spread and a short. JD and another Chinese ADR. Maybe a 30-minute high put spread. Tapestry getting whacked. That's on my list. Getting down, nothing. Burke. Nothing. Zulu Kilo. Say it was up. Now down, nothing. Charlie Golf. It's bullish. We'll see what it does. Alpha Golf. I set an alarm at 9 or 895. See if it can recover. AAP. Oh, shoot. This was up. Or it was down just a few pennies. I have a 55, 52 and a half put spread myself. I just did a 1 lot, and now Now, going into the open, it looks horrible. I actually put an order out to close it at a freaking nickel, thinking that was gonna be money in the bank, and see, not money in the bank until you see it in the bank. It's a nasty downtrend. Mike Hotel, recent IPO. That was a nice climb up. Because it's we talk about turns, right? With 1 bar, 2 bar, 3 bar, W bottom turn. This was a climb with a 5 bar turn. So that's a beautiful climb. But no trade now. Tick. That's a climb. I'll set an alarm at 975. So that's a climb with a 3 bar turn. So 975 alarm. And finally, perfect timing, grr. I think that's animal sector, right? Yeah, gorilla is the animal sector. All right, it was up, now it's down. There's no pattern. Maybe that high will come back. All right, these I talked about earlier. Blush. Oh, this was an IPO yesterday. Bullish, a new Bitcoin exchange. So if that's a Bitcoin exchange, is that like a direct competitor of Hood? There's AAP is a problem child now. Mondelez is a Climo. Mondelez looks good. Let me set an alarm on that. See, I'll set an alarm at 62:30. Well, my minder on my big computer is, well, and this one too, very red. Look at all that. Hey, Alex, talking about only greens, your Golf Delta is green. That's on my watch list. So my big minder, other big computer, the only two, it actually got breakout. All right, so that's a long watch on a pullback. Golf Delta, Lily is flat, but no pattern yet. So yeah, Golf Delta on the Dow 30, Microsoft. There's only 4 greens, 5 greens. Apple up the most at $1.50. But Greg made a good comment yesterday when Microsoft collapsed and took a close. We were saying, hey, that's a danger, Will Robinson, for broader market accident. All right, WST alarm. All right, that gapped over the entry, so let's wait 5-minute high on WST. And let's just do a half lot. Then half 30-minute high. Let's do that. And it's just because of the market. That's why I'm being more cautious. Tick, alarm, tick, there's a climb on. If you're in a sell and climb, relative strength, made the turn. Diamond's the weakest here, new low. It's not a island reversal, but that's a bear gap deep into the bar. That's a good retracement concept. Retracement, see a gap in 70% into that wide range bar is bearish. Anything over 60% gap is bearish. Other alarms, ATKR. Did I buy this yesterday? I did. I did. I just bought 100 shares and I'm down $13 is all. Alpha Golf Alarm, Sam, that's yours. Oh, this thing's spready as can be. 58.60. I might try to kill this break even just because of the market. NTKR is crazy spread. 58, 80. Try to get out. Oh, I'm out at 80. Oh, so I actually got out of profit. Other alarms. Comp. This kept under the stop. Let's go ahead and sell it right here. We have long calls that expire tomorrow. We got the $8 in the money calls. They're 70 cents. So just try to sell here. Take our money. Yeah, we sold half yesterday at 65, so we got a nice profit. Comp. Sezzle alarm. All right, nothing to do. And it does not have weekly, so I actually looked at it for put spread for next week. Sezzle. What is a Sezzle? Yeah, Gap must have. Gear looks horrible, but I said it looked like a magnet, but that's a bearish pre-market 15, so it still looks lower to me. Q's nice bounce here. Q's rallying to this 15-minute breakdown base from yesterday. Amazon's flying on the 15. Wow, I said yesterday that flagpole, little rectangle void. Man, that thing is quite the relative strength here today. Cisco Kid had earnings. I see that rallying. So that gap down was bought. Netflix rallying a bit, but no pattern. WST now, I said 5-minute low. No, I said 5-minute high, but the other one was 5-minute low, WGS, 247.11. WST, 247.11. Java, no stop now. Oh, no, no. Okay, so Kava stopped down the back half um, of that condor, but we did a great job reducing risk yesterday on that rally. Charter, we have a Climo that's coming in. EKS, we have a put spread on this, pulling in, but it's fine. And finally, VST put spread. So we only have 3 opens in the weekly options trader, which I am happy about. Let me look at the other opens. Ben is fine. Herbal, we have break even stop. Let's tighten the stop here. I don't like this gap. Let's tighten it to 60.07. Herbal. How about 59? Hmm, still getting whacked. Oh, that's ugly. That is damage. Daily, weekly, monthly. FSK, yeah, I got my alarm at 1795. Flowers, we're short. We could move stop yesterday's high now, 53.98. And R, nope, gap down's too big. Well, I'm gonna cancel the NR, but I'll keep the alarm. About this JB GS. That one's fine if it triggers, so I'll leave that one. But you see how the other one, the retracement was too big. Oh, that AE, oh, failed. I was hoping that would be a 1, 2, 3, so I'm deleting that. Remember that AI gap down, Greg? Look at that move from the gap down. I was pounding the table saying, man, oh man, that's a big gap down for the news.
Well, it certainly has the attributes of an exhaustion gap.
Yeah, for me, I like them when they're fluid. You know, that one's sideways for 8 bars, but so I guess call it a big one. But
50% from the high, Dan. That's amazing. I mean, like from that high point, it's falling, stalls at support, and then gaps down huge. So from that high on, what is it, in the middle of July, that's 50%.
right.
I mean, I'm just amazed how much this, which appears to be the leader in the AI space, is such a dog. I mean, it's down, I mean, from the December high, it's almost 70%.
Mhm.
Is it cheap? Or is it just junk?
Well, as technicians, we say junk. We don't care
Yeah.
about Lily's still holding the chain. This Mindy I've been watching for a turn, but not yet. All right, I closed my AAP. I had a 1 lot put spread. I lost $80. So that one didn't work. So glad I didn't give it to subscribers. But I can take little losses. I don't care. Who Alexis Labertic? I was watching for a Climo. How do you spell Labertic? LBRDK. So it might, so ideally, it'll come down fluid, make a new low, and then reverse. Yeah, a lot of gaps here. Remember, Ash was on our bottoming pattern list. I don't like that gap. Jesus, Spider's second best retracement here. Let me finish with opens. Hasbro or long. Let's move stop low now. 79.07. Open profit on this, so no worries. Yes, it's fine.
Amazing comeback in the Qs. I thought it could be possible, but I didn't really think it would, tell you the truth. And those things just stand aside
We're
and
gonna
see
say
what it does.
with that nasty number.
I know. I mean, that's the human nature says it's not logical, but we all, if you've been doing this long enough, you know the market and human logic do not blend well together. You just gotta follow what you do day to day. And
Well, it's because when I see things like that, it's just when the market don't want to go down. When it goes up or indicates ugly price action on bearish news,
I know.
it go up.
Well, I mean, it's in hindsight now because, I mean, like if you look at the 5 minute chart, it gaps down under, uh, yesterday afternoon, the Qs just went sideways after 11 o'clock. So the move down was bearish. So, okay, maybe it comes up into the bottom of the base or can't get there and it rolls over or it's through it. And, that's, was a bearish gap down, a short term up several days in a row, gapping below a prior day's low. And it still may roll over, but maybe's maybe. It ain't doing it now. So the Russell and the Dow are not moving up as much. So I'm thinking now the market starts to run out of steam at some point, and those will be the go-to as far as shorts for today. I would look at the spiders down at the Qs, maybe 0 DTE if there's juice above yesterday's high. Now that they've rallied here. Even oil moved up a little bit. Interest rates moved up a little bit, but yet buyers come into these, Qs here. They're backing off now. Right off the pre-market resistance. So we'll see if they start to roll. Tim's mentioning Baba. I don't do Chinese stocks. That's bearish. It gapped up yesterday and now it gapped down, but it's on support. So
Use finders. Oh, IWM's the ugliest, but there's gonna be no juice up there. 231. $0.06 is all.